It's showtime, folks.
I swear.
I'm not backsliding.
You know the drill, money or the validation.
I'm going under.
But the day of reckoning is here.
Officers, you're making a mistake.
What the hell, man?
On teaser.
Right now, my ass is on the highway to the danger zone.
Better Call Saul.
Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. Episode 2 of Better Call Saul. Mijo. Yes? Correct?
Yes.
Alonso, Robert, Brett, Ben. So we all liked the pilot. Did we think this was a successful?
Well, I'd say this is the rest of the pilot, really.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They go together.
And they're setting up the season for you, and they did that fantastically, I thought.
You know, there were moments of exposition here that felt a little like exposition to me, like the montage of the lawyering and the coffee and the. But that said, it did also provide as good a scene as you probably can hope to get from the Saul.
That felt earned. Plus, it was a
desert.
reference to all that jazz, and who doesn't love all that jazz?
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
right,
coming
yeah.
off the
Yeah.
network reference from
Right,
last
exactly.
night.
Yeah, do you guys feel okay with that network reference? I felt like it was a network reference. I'm like, I like that. I own that
loved it.
movie.
If you're, I could see where if you're at that table, that's the thing that would come to mind. You know?
But also, but there have been already a bunch of movie references. Like
Yes,
that's,
I know.
Sure.
Saul is going to be. We didn't know
Like
that
that
from
maybe-
Breaking Bad that he's going to be.
What I think is so
quoting
genius
movie
about this episode is that amazing sequence in the desert where he negotiates. It's like it's that sort of thing you've seen in movies where the guy discovers his gift or whatever, and his gift is kind of sleazy, you know, but
yes.
can be of help and some use to people.
And Bob Odenkirk's performance, I think he's going to really be considered like a great actor after this, because that performance in the desert, you were literally watching him become physically crooked. I mean, he is physically crooking his body in ways as he's negotiating this. That is just an outstanding bit of acting. To do.
I went back and watched old Mr. shows this week just to track the development. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
That's sketch acting, and that's a different thing. And this is like he's living this character now. It's great.
What I was just going to say was that I think the montage pays off because of that setup.
Yeah.
That setup is like, all right, I've got my mojo. I know what it is I'm here to do. Why I've been put on this earth, you know,
Right.
to be this kind of scumbag.
I wondered. I thought, you know, and that's what I was saying. It's like all of that made it worth, because I don't know that we'll get a better scene than that desert. And the run with this show could go 6 seasons. I don't know that we'll get more
And the
than what
montage
that
is
desert.
Beautiful too. Also a beautiful scene. Every single shot incorporating the sky, just the framing. It was fantastic. And watching other things since Breaking Bad, I didn't really notice what I'd been missing until I'd seen scenes that were just so perfect to look at.
Yep.
But I want to stand up for that montage scene, because I think it did something that I think the makers probably thought was important. Was, you know, we've only known Saul as a guy who's basically handled drug dealers for like years. So we needed like something that compressed enough time so you saw the sweat and the work of what a lawyer like he does every single day.
The glad handing.
The glad handing and stuff. You needed to set up Saul as a guy who really has been working hard to do the right thing.
I got no beef with the montage.
Yeah.
And look, I loved it. I loved the episode. I just thought it wasn't that great. Like at that point, I was like, oh, all right. Like I don't know. It just felt it didn't feel as authentic. But then I didn't care.
It definitely had like a flavor of the cooking scenes.
That's
All those
right.
cooking scenes. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That same feeling of like, okay, we're putting together something.
And I'm going to say the upturned coffee cup at the end, I'm going to say is a subtle reference to the old Siskel and Ebert show. Do you remember?
I do
Do
not
you remember
remember.
the opening credits of sneak previews where their names were on the
Right.
candy and the popcorn?
Yeah.
The last shot was always the soda cup falling sideways and the grape soda unloading on it.
Oh, that's, well, of course, it's got to be that. Yeah, I did not
So that's
remember
the
that
question:
at
is like, so what? Why all the references? Were there this many references in Breaking Bad?
No,
and
they
I just
weren't.
didn't get it.
No.
But
Now,
we
why is
never
this?
spent this much quality time with Saul. For all we know, like he has a room of DVDs at home. You know?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Saul. I mean, maybe they're just like going by what Saul's character is and letting that dictate the kind of show Better Call Saul is. And so maybe they think Saul is that kind of guy who would pull out these references. So why not like flood the show?
He is a performer.
Yeah,
I mean, that
sure.
really does. Just doing it's Showtime thing really sets up the fact that Saul is inherently a performer.
And he knows it. And that was great about when he's wheeling the last kid into the ER, the low rent ER, and the
God,
kid
I
goes,
know.
"You're the worst lawyer," and he says, "No, I'm the best. I'm the best lawyer.
But
Like
he
he
says
knows.
it with just enough amount of like he's realizing it just now. No, actually, this makes me the best lawyer.
You're here at an urgent care clinic. Your leg is broken. You were dead.
I
an
just,
hour and a
I
half
just
ago.
negotiated a
Yeah.
life sentence of 6 months probation.
Yeah,
I'm the best
Yeah,
lawyer.
yeah,
So good. So something I'm confused about. Michael McKean. Like, what is his affliction? Does he have cancer? And he's just.
I kind of love that we don't know. I
think,
kind of
I
love
think,
that we
he's,
don't know.
I think he's a severe agoraphobe,
Yeah, seriously.
and he has like these. He's like one of those
it's
tin hat people who thinks that like
Yeah.
electromagnetic waves are going to kill him.
That,
The
but
way
like,
that-
I'm gonna beat this. Is it just the agoraphobia, or is it that he has
something-
cancer and that's
His
why he wants
mental
to stay with
illness is
you?
what he's going to be. I thought the same thing you did, but we talked about it when we did the first episode yesterday, Alonso and I, that it was set up that you thought he had some serious, more traditional, awful disease. But I think it's just
Something
he went
snapped.
mentally ill. Something snapped.
I
yeah.
love that casting of Michael, because he is in a lot of people in my mind he's kind of like Bob Odenkirk. They have the same look, but like that thing where it was like they're not the traditional well-known sketch actors that we all think of when we think, Michael McKean, wasn't he on
Saturday Night
SNL?
Live, yes, he was.
And he's one of those people who within the sketch community everybody loves and respects
Yeah,
and
I mean, he's
admires.
part of the Christopher Guest posse.
Right.
Yeah.
He was in the Clue ensemble,
But that's-
He's
Any chance to mention Clue?
pretty much.
Okay, all right.
They are, you're right though, they are both clowns who can play Hamlet.
Yeah, exactly. I can't, and I'm so happy to see the development of Bob Odenkirk in this.
Oh, he's heartbreaking, actually. He's already, in two episodes, he's already been effectively heartbreaking. I mean, his scenes with Michael McKean are kind of moving in a strange
totally.
way.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the source of frustration he's feeling that
Off the alien, right?
And
Yeah,
how he
it's
goes
just
to
crazy.
bat for him at the law firm. you know?
Right, right. It's legit. It's not just that's his payday.
Right.
He is dedicated to helping his brother out. We talked about it yesterday, but since these guys are here, I love how they have dressed him. I love how that he's in between scummy and sophisticated. Like he would, left to his own devices, he would be repulsive in his dress and a snake, right? But he knows that he has to try, but he doesn't have enough money to try well. Their attention to detail is impressive. And the other thing they're really making us wait for is Jonathan Banks. I mean, they're
They really are.
Jonathan Banks, the ticket
Mike.
taker. Mike.
Oh, yeah, Mike, sorry.
When does that relationship start? And did he end up introducing him to Giancarlo Esposito? Like, what is this? When do we learn this stuff?
So, character that I'm really liking is not Tuco, but the
Handsome Tuco.
Oh, I know.
handsome, smart,
Oh, right.
patient,
Yeah.
Yes.
wily, and
possibly a
reserved Tuco.
But maybe a little risky because he's trying to do something under Tuco's nose.
Oh yeah, and when
So,
he's,
yeah.
no,
that's-
he's
that's-
violent and dangerous.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
of course, but he is a smart guy.
Yes.
I cannot wait for that to develop. That's one of those people where it's like, I'm sure he's gonna die.
And we're clearly gonna get, and we should, and that's great that we're gonna get more of the treasurer, and because that's set
And his
up,
boat.
Yes.
like we glossed over that, but I mean, what a great thing that here's these people and they're pretending to be righteous. That he would never do anything untoward, but he's got the boat.
Yeah.
The boat's too big to hide. They can't even hide it behind the house.
The scheme, the scheme they're talking about means that the treasurer and the wife will be around for the whole season.
They'll be around.
Yeah.
It would appear they're around for the whole season. Right. It's good stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved Tuco and his grandmother too. Like
Oh.
that was-
I know.
And like this is the Tuco that isn't completely tweaking out on meth all the time.
Right.
Right.
And you wondered like what he would be like if he didn't have that problem. And was that even that wasn't something in the minds of the writers when they created Tuco? They're like,
Right.
we need this guy who's doing his own meth and is super scary.
Well, but I mean, in the desert, you see this is a guy with a proclivity to violence, but one who can be reasoned with. That's the important
Or
difference.
tricked.
Tricked.
Well,
Yes.
whatever,
Yeah, right,
but
yeah.
you know,
Right, his
tomato,
tricked.
tomato.
right, but effectively tricked. I mean,
Sure.
by a skilled huckster.
As he was tricked by Walter White.
As he was
That's
tricked
true.
by Walter
True.
White.
I
right.
watched this with my girlfriend and she said, I love this. And I think I'm gonna love about as much of this show as I loved of Breaking Bad, because with Breaking Bad, when he gets really terrible, she's like, it's too dark for me. She likes the part where he's about to get like really deep into too much doo-doo.
And he is, and you think Saul will never get in that deep.
She's just like a paranoid. She's like wrecked. For me, for a lot of people, it's like once Walter White was bad, that is when it got awesome.
We presumably know Saul's end point. Although who knows, maybe it got worse in the middle or something.
Well, ultimately, I mean, that's why it's so. I mean, that's why it's going to be a funnier show because Walter White's descent was tragic. And Saul is a lawyer, so this is professional ethics he's dealing with basically. So it'll always be somewhat probably darkly funny. And he's going to be negotiating within these worlds as opposed to competing against them the way Walter White always was.
He'll always be lawyery, whereas Walter had to get away from being teachery,
I thought, and I may be super reading into this, or maybe this was a mistake in the montage, but he asks his brother for coffee with milk, but then he's getting it black out of the machines as it keeps coming out.
He hits milk.
He does hit milk, but
There's one thing where
in the
I don't
first
know.
one-
Actually, does he hit milk? I just was
no,
like, what
they're just
buttons?
black.
we got to
are
frame by frame it.
Are we
now.
already parsing this that closely? I mean,
No, but I think it
I
means
noticed
that. Like I think it means no. He's
Yeah.
like he takes it black now. Like he's a man. Like he's not a child.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
That's
didn't even
exactly
think
it.
of
that.
I think
Yeah.
that
Okay.
is exactly it.
I just thought you
think
don't
that
want
was
you don't want
very
milk that
effective.
comes out of a machine. I
Right.
just thought maybe it would be
I think I saw the button pushed in a previous era.
The first time he did it, but then later it was black as,
Yeah,
as the montage continued.
See, you made it seem like I might be reading this. He knew that he picked up on that.
No. I
Come on, Mankiewicz.
Should we start? No, should we start?
No, but one of my first objections to the montage was like, he's not even drinking the right kind of coffee, right? And then I thought, well, maybe they're smarter than I am.
You're exactly right.
Maybe
I'm willing-
all possible.
when
They're
Saul
smarter
I'm
than I
willing
am.
to say you're exactly
Kobayashi
right.
Maru riddle. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No, should we start parsing it now for like whether things really would have taken place in 2002?
If you notice that the tumbleweeds are all
Is that the right cell phone?
counterclockwise in this
Yeah, really.
episode.
I have been waiting for for phones or something to throw off the period. So far, they've been really good about it.
So when are we? That's the thing. Is like
2002.
2002, the check.
2002.
The check.
A beautiful way they did it too.
Okay.
The first in the pilot, he holds that check up to the window,
Just
and you can
long
see,
enough
and you
for
can read
to-
2002
I mean,
on it.
I
I
did
thought,
rewind it, but nonetheless,
Nice.
it's May
Yeah.
of 2002.
Oh, good to know.
And it was nice too because the letter was dated like May 13th, and the check is dated like May 16th.
yeah, right.
Like it's got,
And I love that also that he has to come crawling back to Lady at the window with a gift after being like, I'm never coming back here again.
Sure. Ben, do you notice the gift she has? Like that's her thing.
Yeah.
Like little stuffed animals.
He
Yeah.
notices.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Rich material, people.
Rich material.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so happy because I watched this, and the first episode I saw in reverse order of how it was aired. So I saw this and then Walking Dead. And man, I hate that show. And it was great to see a show that, like, all the things that Walking Dead's first episode of this season was trying to accomplish, like aesthetically, they're like seeds, images that they'll show you later. And then I can't like this because I just saw it done better.
Right.
Well, and
All right,
apparently
good,
there was
good.
giant viewer drop off for like the numbers were good for Better Call Saul, but the numbers compared to the people that turned off after Walking Dead were not so hot. So basically, if you turned off Walking Dead, you're an idiot because this was the better show.
Yeah, this is just a much better
Yeah,
show.
and those are monster numbers. You put Better Call Saul. You're looking for Bad Men numbers.
Yeah.
Right. Walking Dead is a differently,
Yeah.
inexplicably, but yeah.
But Breaking Bad, those numbers grew from year to year because
Yeah,
people
they
were
are.
watching it on
Right,
Netflix. So I think they figured they were building off of the end of Breaking Bad to this, you know.
But their willingness, we got to go. But their willingness not to like they're going to do this the way they think it ought to be done.
Yes.
And they clearly are going to have, this is going back to the debates about when Hill Street Blues started airing and the people were up in arms because there were too many cliffhangers. Have a story that starts 2 minutes in and ends at minute 56. That's what I need. And these guys, I mean, obviously television's changed a lot since then, but they're going to do it their way.
And
This
this will.
episode ended on a cliffhanger that was a payoff.
How did it end?
It ended with him saying,
not
like,
Tuco.
let me know when you realize
Oh,
you're
yeah.
in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, it was a setting up of what this season is. That's,
Yeah,
it felt
absolutely.
like-
Maybe he'll never call.
Yeah.
And if Hill Street Blues is the Breaking Bad in this context, this is already better than Beverly Hills Bunts ever was. Google it.
What a tragedy that was. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.